Claudine Francois and the founder of In Good Clean Taste. I am dedicated to helping women entrepreneurs design a healthy lifestyle by incorporating healthy, delicious tools, tips, and resources that empower their inner and outer game. Every episode, my featured guest and I share our healthy, delicious lifestyle journey on my globally recognized show, Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine. Hello and welcome to Healthy Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine. We are going to get serious today. We're going to have some amazing takeaways. So for those of you who run your own business or you're running the show at your office, your home, or pretty much anywhere women run the show, which let's be honest is everywhere, this episode is definitely for you. As always, if you are interested in learning more about me, my products, and my services, you can always check those out at ingoodcleantaste.com. Now, today's show topic is how to create delicious systems for a healthy business with Mary Barnett. I have such an amazing guest. I cannot wait for you to meet her. Let me tell you a little bit more about her. So Mary, aka Mobile Mary Barnett, as she is known in the industry, is the CEO of Another Brilliant Idea Inc. It is a certified small and woman-owned business marketing firm that she founded in 1988. Mary is an award-winning creative and results-oriented leader in the digital, social, and mobile marketing industry, and she teaches how to be playful and have more fun with your marketing to attract clients. Who doesn't want that? So I am going to bring her up. Just kind of a heads up, we have been having some serious technical difficulties today. So if you are watching this rather than listening to this, just know I apologize in advance. And actually, even if you're listening to this, if she drops out like she just did when I tried to bring her up, we will just roll with it and bring her back on. So again, if you're used to watching this and you're used to seeing me bring up pictures on the screen or bring up quotes on the screen, just know that that's not happening today. So there she is. Hello, Mary. Welcome, welcome. So good to see you. Oh no, and there she left again. Isn't this so much fun when it's live? Yes, absolutely. So much fun. So one thing that I have noticed that I know Mary is going to be talking about in my own business is that in order to do marketing, we need to be feeling our best, right? So when it comes to showing up for our business, we are the best form of marketing for our businesses, right? So knowing that we need to take care of ourselves, take care of our bodies so we can show up in the best way. My best example for this is when you have to write marketing copy or when you have to be creative for a project. Like if you're feeling brain foggy, if you're feeling exhaustified and tired, you're just not going to be there mentally, right? And I know Mary's going to have more to say about this when she comes up. Hi.
We want to keep people on their toes, right? We're going to keep them guessing.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely. So I'm going to ask you, Mary, this is the first question I ask all my guests, which is what does a healthy, delicious lifestyle mean to you?
Well, I wrote out something formal just for you, so I could read that. But as you said in the intro of this, really it is about feeling your best. So you're in a place where you can enjoy your business. Because at the end of the day, we started our business not to, stress out, work 20 hours a day, just like be all, everything, wearing a million hats. Like that's no fun. You could just get a job where you could clock in, clock out, go home and enjoy your family, right? We started a business because we wanted to create a lifestyle that we loved, that we could bring more blessings to the world, right? I always say that we are the answer to someone's prayer. And so that's why it's so important to show up and be our best, because there's somebody out there that's just been praying for a solution that only you can provide. I actually have shivers. Like, I don't know why. I say that all the time. Why did I get shivers today? It's just so important. And I think that sometimes we think, well, I'll just give, and never take time to rejuvenate because I need to show up. I need to do all the things, especially as a woman. It's like I think it's like in our DNA, but also it's kind of been like promoted,
Socialized.
and that like you have to keep giving, and it's selfish to take time for ourselves. And I just had a birthday, and it's like a wake up call to realize that they always say in the airplane, you put the bag on yourself first, right? The oxygen mask on yourself, and then you help other people. Because if you're not healthy and strong and feeling great, um, you can't help other people well. So I just love
Mm.
what you're doing, Claudine. And by the way, I didn't, because we've been dealing with all these tech issues. I didn't thank you for having me on your show. That's such an honor
Oh.
to talk with your audience, because anyone who is in your stream obviously is amazing. So congratulations everybody who's watching.
Well, thank you for being here. We're so happy to have you. And I absolutely hear what you're saying with the oxygen mask metaphor. I love that metaphor because you can't help other people if you are not breathing.
Right,
I think so many of us are trying to get through life on just this like tiny sip of oxygen, which like maybe get enough sleep, maybe get enough downtime to like just barely function,
right,
but we're able to be our best selves, to show up in our business, to really give that thing that we are meant to be giving to everyone. As you said, this is a lot of people who start their own business are doing it out of a desire and a passion, not only to help other people, but to have a more balanced lives, our life ourselves.
right,
And, like, coming from being in corporate for 20, 25 years where I was used to the slog, I didn't know anything but the slog.
right.
Starting a business, I'm like, "I'm gonna create my own slog." No.
You're like, I think I missed the point. Yeah.
Right? And so
And
I'm gonna read you your first tip, which was so good. It was, make time for taking care of you. Be your own health advocate. What do you mean by that? Be your own health advocate?
well, I've been, and I'm sure you have as well. When someone is sick in your life, right? You go to the hospital with them, and when they're, sleeping, you're asking the nurse, "Hey, did you check this? Do they get their medicine? Do they have this?" Right? And so somebody's advocating on your behalf. Well, if you're a healthy adult, you have the obligation to advocate for yourself. So you almost have to like think outside yourself and say, what would be best for this patient? What would be best for this person? Right? Because we're really just the tent, right? I'm a believer. And so I believe the Lord has sent us down here for a purpose. And we're literally just in this tent that we're on earth for. So when we go up and meet our heavenly body, I didn't mean to go down this path, but I'm just saying, is I think that we have to do our part to take care of the person that we are, so we can, as you said earlier, show up as our best selves. And when you're an advocate for someone else, it's so easy, especially as a woman. I know I keep talking about that, but I know we both speak to a lot of women. um, we think, oh, I'm not important, I'll just serve others, I'll take care of my children and my husband and our family, and and you're an advocate for them. So it's important that we take time to realize, wow, if I could just be that same advocate for myself, just think of how much more I could get accomplished if I had a little bit more sleep, a little bit more rest. And literally, and I am very guilty of not being the best advocate for myself, Claudine. I have to say, I watch your shows and it like kicks me in the head, because I'm like, oh my God, like I know it. I know. I think we all, our mothers told us things, and we think, oh, yeah, 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 I'll get to that. Right. But we don't remember it ourselves. And I've been in business this December. My business will be 35 years old.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm only 36. So
You did great. You started really young. Good job.
you know what? I came out of my mom and I said, dang, I'd like to start a marketing firm, Mom. Let's get going. She's like, let's
Got
go.
this.
Yes, I'm always like, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. But anyway, so like I have gone through lots of up and downs in 35 years. It's really hard to realize that I've been in business for so long. And we've pivoted, we've gone through a couple of recessions, like. And I think that, we just think, if I just push harder, if I just run faster, if I just serve more, if I just do all the things and I've learned over all these years that that is the key to disaster, because you don't see it coming until you're already off the cliff. And then you're like,
Mm.
whoa, your horse is already going over and you're like, stop. Right. It's like, and then it's almost too late. So I've really
Mhm.
had to learn to, and I'm not good at it, I'll admit, is to put a pause. And literally, my husband got me the standing desk for my office. I literally have to like, oh, time to stand up, or oh, time to go for a walk, and I'm really bad at it. And so I literally, we were talking about like what systems. I just thought we'd talk about some simple things today. The phone. So I'm mobile Mary because I created a software back in 2007, launched in 2009. We've done some amazing things with text marketing. So they call me Mobile Mary because I'm all about the mobile phone. And you can do so, I mean, you could run your life from this thing. Sadly, we look at it way too much. But if you use it for good and not evil, right? You can
Mhm.
actually set timers. So I literally have timers on here of when to stand up, when to go for a
Nice.
walk, when to pray even. I know that sounds weird, but like, oh, time to pray. I'm like, oh, okay. Like little reminders are so helpful to stay productive. And a big one is chunking out our time to do things that are important to us. And it is making a healthy meal, taking the time instead of just running and grabbing something that's just in quick out of the refrigerator and shoving in our face, right? Like what you teach, Claudine, is so amazing because you make it so simple. Like, oh, if I just take an extra 10 minutes, I could actually make something that's going to make me feel good instead of
Mhm.
just feed the void, so to speak.
Yes, there's so many good things that you said in there, and I wanna talk about non-negotiables, but before I forget, I wanna talk about you said it earlier in that segment, you mentioned, um, thinking outside the box, and a lot of the women I work with are these high-powered women that either own their own business or they're high up in corporate, and they start to notice health issues, kinda like you said, it's like we're almost off the cliff before we start realizing, "Oh, wait, oh, wait." So they'll get to the cliff, they're looking down at the cliff, and they usually have tried the traditional medical route, right? They've gone to their doctors. I feel sluggish. I just feel off. Like my brain isn't working anymore. Like what's going on with my body? And they'll get the usual, like there's something wrong with you, or they'll run a test and be like,
Take
here's
a
a
pill,
pill. Yeah. And I mean, I went through this. People have heard this story a million times where, oh, the pill doesn't work because I can't keep it down. And they're like, oh, well, here, take another pill for that. And I'm like, that doesn't work either. And they're like, oh, put it in the other end. And I'm like, stop. What? How about we figure out why I'm having migraines, people? How about we figure out that? Which is why I started in the functional medicine space, right? So that women can figure out what's going on and fix it. So when you say thinking outside the box, that's where my brain goes. It goes to what can you do to solve the problem versus just band-aiding it because it's just going to get worse, or it's either not going to get better, it's going to get worse, or it's going to offshoot into other areas.
right? And
But when you talk about, I love how you talk about the timers, because there's actually a water timer app that I mentioned to my clients, because a lot of my clients forget to drink their water.
oh, fun.
Because like you and me, we can get really focused, right? Like we can get so focused on what we're doing that I mean, you can forget to go to the bathroom, you forget to stand up, you can forget to do all these things that we know are good for us. So like my watch tells me it's been an hour, get your butt off your chair. I mean, it says just stand, right? But like I'm reading it as get up, go take
You
a
can
walk.
actually make your phone do that, by the way. You can have it send you messages. In fact, another little fun tip, because again,
Mhm.
mobile Mary, you can change your nickname in your phone to whatever you want. And so
Oh,
I was at like a fun women's retreat thing, and so I came up with
that
this
can get
idea.
naughty, Mary.
What?
That can get bad.
No, but
People are gonna start
seriously,
changing their nicknames for their husband's phone.
oh my gosh. Well, I renamed my phone. His nickname is Beautiful. And so when I asked
Oh.
Siri, which by the way, I picked an Australian male voice, yeah, and and so
Nice.
I say, "Hey Siri, what time is it or what's the weather outside or whatever." He'll say, "Well, beautiful, it's a lovely 85 degree," whatever he says, right? And my husband, the first time he heard, he's like, "Hey, who's talking to you?" And I said, "You know what? Life is short, and I would like to hear that someone thinks I'm beautiful." Well, I don't, and a typical guy, right? I tell you, I'm like, no, no, no. It has nothing to do with you. You do great. You're check. You've done a great job. You continue to do a great job. I just think it's really positive health wise, mentally, mental health. It's a big thing, right? Is to have someone say,
Mhm.
"Hey, beautiful," and it's like, "Oh, thanks." Instead of an
Aw.
annoying, voice, right? What the heck? Life is short. So
Yes. Awesome. Yeah, anyone wants that, you join my email list. I start them all with, "Hey, beautiful. Hi, gorgeous." And your name.
that's awesome. That's
But
see,
I love that, having positive reinforcement, because yes, we tend to focus a lot on physical health, right? And a lot of it is what we say to ourselves, what we think in our brain over and over again,
yeah.
and the people that we have around us, what they are saying to us.
100%. In fact, the funny that you say that. So my mom, who's been in heaven for this year, 18 years, that's okay. She taught me a lot
Mm.
in the time she had. And one thing she always said is you have to be careful because it's scientifically proven. And since I've researched it, I'm like, dang, mom was right. Like moms are always right. You just have to like So I always tell kids,
It's a hard lesson to learn.
yeah, just give it up and realize your mom is always right. Just, I know you're fighting it, and then you're 30, you'll figure it out that she's always right. Anyways, so she said, what comes out of your mouth, your ears hear, and your brain makes it true. It's just the way we're wired.
Mm.
So you can't say, I'm fat, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, or whatever, because your ears will hear it and your brain will make it true. Like, that's how God made us. So you need to say, I am beautiful and I'm feeling great and I'm gonna have the most amazing day today, right? And they call it affirmations, they call this stuff, but literally, you just saying those words have so much power. And my mom was
Mm.
like one of the most positive, amazing encouragers, and everyone around her just like gravitated towards her because she'd always find the
Mm.
most amazing words of encouragement for them. And it was, it just came out naturally out of her, right? Because she had trained herself that you say the words that you want to believe and the actions that
Yeah.
you want to take. And so that, if anyone takes one thing out of the show, I would love that to be what they take out of it, is that you literally need to speak your words into existence. You're speaking them will make it true. And it sounds really woo woo, but it's scientifically proven. Just saying.
Well, it's true, and there's a gratitude journal, a guest brought on from another show that I have since been using, and
Oh,
it starts with your gratitude, but it also starts with what would make today great.
oh wow.
And so I'm writing down like the things, what would make today great? Having a great show with Mary, that would make today great, you know? Like, and so I'm basically training myself to believe these things are going to happen today,
I love that.
right?
I actually have a gratitude journal that I was given, that I need to be better at writing in. It's literally sitting right next to me. And
Mm.
I don't sell this or anything, but it's basically a journal dedicated to your thoughts, feelings, and gratitude. So it's probably very similar
Mm.
to what you're using. And it's true. I think a lot of us think, that's a waste of time. But if you took a couple minutes just to ground yourself at what you want to add to the world today, it's amazing what you could get accomplished, right?
So true. And I'll link that in the show notes just so people, if they want to check it out, can check
Well,
it
you can
out.
link yours. That's fine.
Yeah. So I want to get to one of these other tips because I mean, you basically went through the one that's like schedule your self-care into your calendar, take a walk or take your vitamins, which taking the vitamins cracks me up because I'm one of those people that like I plan my vitamin. Yeah, I have one of those. And I plan my vitamins for the week or the month, or not the month, but like I have 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And that way I don't have to think about it. Cause like who has time to think?
Right. I do have a thing in my calendar that comes up, and I have to say, okay, and this is like, I have to admit this. So my children always made fun of me and my husband because I would take one vitamin at a time. So taking all these vitamins would take forever. And so I would put it off, right? I'd be like, oh, I'll get to that. I'll get to
Mm.
that, right? Because one at a time, seriously, it was obnoxious. And so I had a friend, and here's another tip. See, I buy Juice Plus from her. And so I was
Mhm.
saying, I think I have to go to the gummies because it's so hard to get these down. She said, if you put your head down, so you put like 4 or 5 in your mouth, put your head
Mhm.
down and you take a drink and you swallow it like you would swallow food, your neck is relaxed when it's down versus going back
Mm.
like this. If you think about it, it's tight. And so I was like, it seemed like such a silly thing, but it
Yeah.
totally works. I am like a rock star now taking my vitamins. I can take like, and I'm only up to like 5. My husband can take a handful, throw them back, take water. I'm like, oh
Ugh.
my goodness. Anyways, but seriously, like one step at a time, right? So I think that's another cool thing too, is realize that you don't have to completely transform overnight. Baby
Mm.
steps, right? Just like, What About Bob, the movie? Baby steps to take my vitamins better. Like I said, I schedule the time. So I will. Now I can take all those in like 3 gulps. But just putting your head down and taking a drink of water and then just swallowing like normal,
Mhm.
total game changer.
I had never heard that. That's awesome. I'm so glad because yeah, there are people who are just like, I can't do the pills.
Yeah.
That's a great tip.
There you
Everybody,
go.
how many tips have we had already? This is ridiculous. All right. So my healthy and delicious with Claudine lifestyle share is you are your business. So taking care of you is job number one, right?
Right.
What's the first thing on your to-do list?
Take care of you.
It should be, right? For all of
And
us, it should be.
yeah, and even if you're working for someone else, it just doesn't just apply to people who work for themselves. right? I mean, when you go to
Mhm.
work for someone else, you want to show up as the best you, so you can totally rock that company and make it as a team member better than it's ever been. And your employer will be like, oh my God, like I can't lose you. You offer so much to my business. Let me promote you. Let me give you more money. I want you to stay. I mean, so many people right now, a lot of my clients are having a hard time finding staff to work
Mm,
or to
mhm,
work hard. And I'm always telling, I do a lot of talks in schools and things like that. And I'm like, you need to show up and be like, do so great every day that that employer will not want to let you go. Like, what can I do to keep you? I'm going to bring extra
mhm,
snacks. I'm going to pay you extra money. I'm going to let you work at home. I'll do whatever you want because you are so valuable to me. Right. And
mhm.
so your lessons are so important because you need to, like I said, we've kind of reiterated this, being your best you, no matter for yourself or for someone else, it just makes life better. And you can, at the end of the day, realize so good to feel like you've done a great job, that you've added more value to the world. It just makes you, I don't know about you, I'm sure it does with you. I just feel so gratified when I get off the phone with a client who just had this major breakthrough, or we've come
Mhm.
up with something that's going to make them like blow up on social or in their market, like, and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like this is what, and I literally get chills, and it just brings me so much joy. And I don't know if you see the joy in my office, but I'm all about the joy, man. Life is short. Bring the joy.
You've got that joy, joy down in your heart, which is, by the way, a song my sister wrote, which is totally a random thing to insert here.
Really?
Yeah, she's a Christian singer. But anyway, I know we'll talk about that later. But
Okay.
what you're reminding me of is the non-negotiables, right? Like to set yourself up for success every day, to be the best face for your business, for your company, for your job, for your the person that you're coming to work for, whether it's you or someone else.
Right.
Having those non-negotiables to set yourself up for success. For me, it's like I am doing a workout in the morning. And this doesn't have to be a crazy workout. It could be a walk with my neighbor. Mondays and Fridays, I walk with my neighbor Jenny. And it's fun because we get to talk, we get to be outside, we get some little exercise. It's not a crazy, like, I'm not doing a hit workout, people. I'm not going to CrossFit. I am walking in my neighborhood, but it sets me up for the day, right? It gets my endorphins going, it gets me awake. It's kind of like a natural way to wake up versus like chugging 3 cups of coffee.
Yeah, and
With
because you have a neighbor, right? You hold each other accountable,
exactly,
right?
I'm not going
I
to
love
not
that.
show up for her.
Yeah.
Um, so having those non-negotiables, and whether you're working for yourself or someone else, not putting yourself first, making sure it is a non-negotiable. Because I know, because I've worked in both places, right? I've worked in corporate where I feel really obligated to show up my best for this other person slash entity,
Right.
or I've also worked for myself where I'm showing up for my clients and I'm really driven to do what's best for them. In
Right.
both instances, it's really easy to just put yourself on the back burner.
Right.
And so with my employer, I would tell them, like, on these days, I'm not showing up till 8:30. I know you want me to be here at 7:30, but on these days, I'm doing a workout, whatever, that's gonna take not I'm not gonna be able to get here till
Wow. A
8:30.
whole hour.
I know, crazy. Well, and it's not like I didn't work late at night sometimes, right? Or the
Right. That's what I'm
weekend.
saying is you probably gave so much more for them to even like, yeah, they're like, of course, honey, take your hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the biggest one from the hardest thing for me to do was when I would have some evening workout classes to like stop working, whether I'm at home or whether I was at corporate, like to stop working at a certain time. Cause like I can be on a roll and I can just want to finish,
Sure.
right? Like I'm so focused on like finishing the thing,
Just one more
but
thing.
I have to stop myself
Yeah.
and say, Claudine, you need to go to restorative yoga tonight. Your neck is killing you. Restorative yoga is the answer.
Is that like a different kind of yoga? I've never heard of
Yeah, it's
that.
like yeah, because there's all different kinds of yoga, right? There's like the high paced ones, like or the vinyasa ones. There's Ayurvedic, yeah, all different kind. Or I'm saying the wrong word. It's not Ayurveda.
Okay. I just
It's
know
another A
yoga.
word. Okay, it's the wrong word. But anyone who knows it's like Ashtanga yoga or something. Anyway, there's all different kinds. There's Bikram
There's
yoga.
goat
There's
yoga. I've heard of that.
which one? Goat yoga.
Goat yoga.
But restorative is what I call like nap time yoga, where you're like stretching and you're breathing and you just feel really restored, crazy enough, and like relaxed, and it
That's
just
so
works out
cool.
all the knots. Yeah, it's nice.
Oh, I'd like to look into that. I'll have to do that.
Yeah. I'll just do a little plug here. COIL Yoga does an online yoga class Monday, like late afternoon, like around 4:30, I think.
Oh,
So yeah, online classes. I
okay.
guess I'll link COIL Yoga.
Link in the comments when this is published. I mean, I would love
I
that.
will.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Look at that. We will do that. So the last share was this is like the empower your healthy, delicious lifestyle share. Setting yourself up with deliciously healthy meals will keep you energized and give you brain power. You mentioned this, giving yourself, I mean, I have a whole masterclass, which I'll link as well. It's a free masterclass where
Oh,
I teach you how to prep your whole week's worth of food in 1 hour a week.
wow.
So whether that's a Sunday for you, a Saturday, a Monday night, it doesn't matter. You spend an hour and everything's ready for the week. So it's not like because what happens to a lot of my clients is like they're running around, they plan to get home at 5:30 or 6 to make dinner, but like Johnny's soccer game went long or or there was traffic or whatever, you get home and you're like, crap, there's nothing to eat.
Right.
Whereas if you've already prepped it all, either it takes 15 minutes or it's already made and no problems, right?
That is awesome. Seriously, I would love to watch that masterclass because
Mm.
that happens all the time for me. And I've learned that certain foods give me a tummy ache. And I used to always just like, it's fine. I'm just in a rush. Go, go, go. But I've realized as
Mhm.
I've tried to slow down and, do what you teach, um, that I realize, wow, like if I eat bread, my hands get achy. Right. And I think that's what happened this morning. I woke up and I was like, oh my God, did I run a marathon? No,
No.
I had this very delicious sourdough that someone gave me for my birthday, a big, beautiful loaf of sourdough that literally almost killed me. This morning, I was like, what the heck did I do? But it
Oh,
was so
girl, there's
good.
so many good gluten-free sourdough bread places where you live. I'll just send you one.
I don't know. I mean, it's probably the gluten, but I just think it's the starch, the carbs. Because
Mm,
if I have like um I guess I call them simple carbs, like, salad, whatever, I'm fine. But the minute I start having pasta and bread and all that stuff, which of course I've been celebrating my birthday, so what have I been having? If you're like, oh, we'll make you something, and you
yeah.
have to eat it, like, and then I suffer for it. And so it's really cool though. I'm looking at it as a positive because now I know that I can enjoy something else and I'll feel so much better. And that's a gift, right? When you finally figure out what is good for you and what isn't from the inside
Mhm.
out, it's just a joy because like in the old days when we were young, we could drink a lot and have no repercussions the next day, right? Now, like more than two glasses of wine, and I'm like, okay, give me a minute. you know,
Yeah.
how sad is that?
Well, what you're describing, like the 4 main inflammatory foods, like things that make our joints hurt and make our fingers puff up and some of us give us migraines, it's gluten, dairy, sugar, and alcohol. So most of us have that on any given day, we have all of those, right?
Right, right, exactly. And
So,
the diet that my husband and I did do before, and then we kind of went off it because holidays, and now it's May. Oh my God, we started cheating in the holidays, and it's now May. What the heck? Is no sugar, no grains. It's
Mm.
NSNG or whatever, and
Mhm.
that makes that following that diet or lifestyle or whatever. I feel so good. Like, and I lose weight and I'm more flexible. I feel more
Mm.
empowered. It's like, I just have to keep my eye on the prize. And I'm sure that's what you tell your clients too. It's like, think
Mhm.
about how great you'll feel if you take the time to do what you need to do that.
Yeah, and I did find with my clients, I could tell them those things, but until I actually tested them and said, "These are the things that are actually causing you problems in your body, and this is the kind of" there's actually a test to tell you, are you a more paleo person? Are you a more vegan person? Like, there's a
Oh,
way to know what your body wants. So, yeah, I find that telling them, like, here are your test results that are showing the current impact of your lifestyle on your body. Would you like to know them? It
you
just
can
makes a
help.
big difference.
Can you sell that? Is that part of your service?
Yeah, that's part of the functional medicine, which is awesome, right?
Oh,
Like,
that's
I could
fantastic. I know
yeah.
so many people I can refer you to.
Oh,
Seriously,
thanks.
I have so many people because years ago I took the ALCAT test, which was like a food, whatever, which of course I
Mhm,
ignored. And, and then the more that I follow, I'm like, oh, but again, things change, right? And that was like 20
mhm.
years ago. So I'm very interested in that. And seriously, put a link so I can refer people to you because I have so many
Okay.
people in my life who would love that. That would be such a blessing.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to write down all these links I'm putting in here. This is awesome, Mary. It has been so fun having you today. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. It's been so much fun talking to you. And thank you for all the reminders. Literally, just hearing you speak, because I've watched your shows, I'm a big fan. It's like little reminders like, okay, yes, it's just confirmation that these are things that are important. It's not, that I need to, we kind of started the show, so we can show up as our best self to serve at the highest level.
So good. And now you've said them, you've heard them, and now your brain is going to believe them.
Make it true.
So how can people find you, Mary?
Well, interestingly enough, I am on the same network as you. So I have a show that is goes live Thursdays at 12:30 p.m. ish. I have to say, because sometimes life happens and you have to shift, which is fine. I've been traveling a lot, so I'm a little behind in my shows. But Thursdays on my page, Brilliant Marketing with Mary is the name of my show, and also my website is Another Brilliant Idea, because everyone needs another brilliant idea. So you can get it.
I love it. Thank you. I will definitely link your show. All right. I'm going to try to put you in the green room. If you get popped off, come back later. We'll have a mocktail. Thank you so much, Mary. Oh my gosh. How awesome was that? I hope you got as much out of that as I did. And thank you so much for joining us today. And I want to remind you, how are you going to create a healthy, delicious lifestyle for yourself today? Until then, be sure to join me for another episode of Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine next Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific or 11 a.m. Central. And have a healthy, delicious life. Thank you for joining me today. You can learn more about me, my products, and services at ingoodcleantaste.com. Be sure to join me for another episode every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific or 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on my globally recognized show, Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine.